I have deep compassion for clinical depression. But when it comes to the quarterback of an NFL team, you know this as well as better than I do. It's the ultimate leadership position in sports.
This is FS1's Skip Bayless.
All the times where she would have to spend probably 10 plus hours throwing up this and that.
And the Dallas Cowboys is Dak Prescott.
You are commanding an entire franchise, and they're all looking to you to be their CEO, to be in charge of the football team.
All throughout this quarantine and this offseason, I started experiencing emotions I've never felt before. Anxiety for the main one. And then, honestly, a couple of days before my brother passed, I would say I started experiencing depression. Didn't know necessarily what I was going through, to say the least.
Because of all that, I don't have sympathy for him going public with, I got depressed. I suffered depression early in COVID to the point that I couldn't even go work out. Look, he's the quarterback of America's team.
Beyond tone deaf, beyond repair.
Skip comes from a place where he's only leading himself, because he's a very individual business. To listen to opinion of someone who the last time they put on uniforms when they went to Halloween and trick-or-treating, like you don't understand what it takes. So I applaud Dak Prescott.
And former New York Giant Michael Strahan knows it. Skip Bayless is the kind of guy who will say or do anything, even if you are at your lowest point, and not apologize for his indecent remarks and lambastic, twisting the knife style comments. He attacked Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, and more importantly, a family man. In 2013, when Prescott was at Mississippi State, his mother, Peggy, died of colon cancer. Peggy raised Dak and his 4 siblings as a single mom. He loved his mother dearly, still does, and says it's been difficult having to wake up every day knowing she is gone. Tragedy then struck the Prescott family again.
Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott's older brother Jace died.
Jace Prescott.
Dak, that touchdown. How do you do it?
People say talent runs in the family.
Who you likely saw in Dak's Campbell's Chunky Soup commercials. Dak revealed to Graham Bensinger that Jace took his own life. I'll never get another hug in my life like the ones he gave, Prescott told Graham. Dak believes his mother's passing in 2013 took an indescribable toll on Jace as he took care of Peggy while Dak became a star on the football field. Jace saw Peggy every day, the medication, the constant throwing up, the decline. And almost, he says, you can't even put into the words the burden. It's something only Jace knew, and he didn't necessarily share it. And Jace was never really much of a talker, so when something like that was a huge burden on him, he didn't know how to share it.
He's a notorious LeBron James hater. If you follow Skip Bayless, you know this, but clearly that hate for LeBron James is generational.
On The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne the God ripped into none other than this guy.
LeBron's had way more all-star help than Michael ever thought about having. My eye test tells me that Michael's better. We're just sort of doing vacuum to vacuum, you know, just what do they look like? Johnny Manziel will become even bigger in the city of Cleveland than his buddy and business partner LeBron James ever was in the city of Cleveland. LeBron James was made for the regular season.
The pest that is Skip Bayless.
Toward the end of the second quarter, Bronny went coast to coast. He got the ball and took off from one side of the court to the other, and before defenders could properly react, all right, it led to a really good dunk. I don't know about y'all, man, but as a father, I love seeing other people's kids do great, all right, especially when the parents have achieved greatness. I don't know. It's just something dope about watching kids, especially black kids, excel, especially when we have watched the parent of said child break generational curses, and watching the kids excel is just more evidence that the generational curse has indeed been broken. I mean, there's really nothing you can do but salute this. Unless, of course, you're Skip Bayless.
Can he, right now, at 52 years old,
Right here, right now.
beat LeBron one-on-one? I mean, and beyond, come on.
You know, Stephen A.
Oh,
Smith?
gosh, don't do this.
You know? He just might be able to.
Don't do
He
this.
just might be able to.
All right, Skip Bayless tweeted out, "Hey, Bronny, impressive, but your dad would have dunked it left-handed. You sure got away with it, though. Skip, when he gets to the NBA, I feel like Bronny's fair game, but right now he's a 17-year-old kid in high school. Does your hate for LeBron James run that deep that the kids have to get it too?"
Unfortunately, in this day and age, especially considering Bayless's track record over the last 20-some years. To this analyst, the kids are fair game, and here was his reasoning.
The point is, when this took off, I look back at my tweet and I said, I didn't intend this as criticism. I intended it as a commentary on what I saw. Number one, I didn't rip him. Number two, he's almost 18 years of age. And number three, I tried to explain to her that there are three huge narratives right now in the National Basketball Association. Number one, where is KD going to play?
Right.
Number two, will Russ ever be traded for Kyrie straight up in some way, shape, or form? Will they trade places? And what's the third biggest narrative, if not it rivals number one and two, is will LeBron be able to play with Bronny and or Bryce, but just Bronny? Let's just keep it to Bronny. Will LeBron be able to play with Bronny within 2 years?
A few things to consider. The first, hearing a man who has gone after LeBron James to boost his own clout for, again, roughly 20-some years, to then go after LeBron's kids is odd. However, as Awful Announcing writes, it's completely and totally on brand. In reality, Bayless received the exact reaction he sought for his tweet. The backlash opened the door for him and his undisputed co-host Shannon Sharpe to dedicate 11 whole minutes of their A block, which is terminology for the opening block of the show, to LeBron James' son, simultaneously placing Bayless at the center of the topic. Y'all remember when the Rachel Nichols tape came out? Do you remember what she said when she opened that episode of The Jump?
So the first thing they teach you in journalism school is don't be the story.
Skip Bayless is basically the antithesis of this practice. He has built a career by becoming the focal point of a story ever since he teamed up with Stephen A. Smith, who, by the way, blame goes on his shoulders as well.
I'm an antagonist, and it's by nature.
The fact that you got a foreign player that doesn't speak English, that needs an interpreter, believe it or not, I think contributes to harming the game to some degree.
Answer this question.
Sure.
Name one Republican presidential candidate you would vote for over Barack Obama.
I don't want to say.
He's speechless.
I'm never speechless. I will say this though. I would strongly consider Mitt Romney for one reason and one reason only. The man knows how to make money.
In lieu of Bayless's top 3 off-season basketball subjects, to put Bronny James in the top 3 says a lot about Bayless's purview of the game of basketball. I think a lot of people, respectfully, would not have Bronny James in their top 10 subjects. So it says more about Skip and his profession and his perspective than it does the NBA fan.